The organization that I'm focusing on is a small town hospital. The department I'll be focusing on is it's an emergency room registration. The hospital has clinical hours plus urgent and emergent hours. The hospital has a clinic in a neighboring city or a neighboring town where you can see primary care physicians. Its business strategy is to provide the best care for our community. And this particular hospital meets this goal by fostering a culture where a small town hospital can deliver extensive city or like large city results. And we do this by offering machinery that is high tech. And the way that we afford to do that is by fundraising. So, for instance, we have bake sales at the hospital, so we sell cookies, and the proceeds to that then helps us purchase items for the hospital. So we just bought a 3D mammogram machine. Also, the hospital meets its objectives by remaining state of the art in terms of diagnostic and testing. The hospital helps also meet its expectations to its customers by adopting the FISH method. And the central core ideas to the FISH method is to choose your attitude, play, make their day, and be in the present moment. And then this is the way for our employees to remember to have fun, not to take everything so seriously, and this translates to a happy work environment for our patients. FISH makes our hospital unique, but so does our services. Again, being small and still offering extensive hospital services or services that may not be offered in other small hospitals helps us remain competitive as well as unique. I believe that it's really important for us to focus on the registration department. And I think it's very imperative that the hospital run that for registration to have great employees in the position for the hospital to run smoothly. Because we're the first person that the patient sees. But we also deal with insurance. We can at times deal with pre-authorizations. We admit people. And also, we are the first whistleblowers. So we're the first person that the customer or the patient sees when they walk through the door. And it's our job to assess the patient and see if what is happening or if what brings them into the hospital is an emergency situation or if it's an urgent situation. We're able to get people back into the emergency room faster if we believe that there is something terrible happening. Currently, the recruiting for this position is based solely on the department manager. And I would suggest that all hiring managers type up a job analysis, the requirements, job duties, and I would recommend that it be given to the HR for final draft. And I would recommend that they lean less on word of mouth, which works sometimes, and more on job postings on our Facebook page, which is free, Indeed, LinkedIn, newspaper ads, temp agencies. This would give us a more diversified community within our department. Also, I would recommend that HR read through the applicants and only show the hiring managers the qualified people or who they believe would be a good fit. I believe that HR should either hold the first part of the interview or potentially be in the room when the interviewee is being interviewed. I think This is because HR's responsibility to hire the right person strategically. Using these different hiring sources would ensure an affirmative action to get more minorities to apply. This would also provide our compliance with the EEO. We would not just be catering to one specific type of applicant, but all kinds. If we posted jobs in the Gazette or surrounding temp agencies, you would get a broader array of applicants, and it would be my goal to have more underrepresented or unrepresented individuals working at the hospital. Our town is becoming more diverse. However, we have a long way to go, and expanding our advertisements to Fayetteville or surrounding cities would help our hospital attract a more diverse crowd. Some of the job competencies that we would be looking for would be if you would have the ability to have compassion for patients, the ability to work with all types of personalities, able to pick up computer programs, ability to use the computer and different software, listening skills, if you're empathetic, and also leadership skills, and communication is key. In order to step up our department and our training, I believe that we should start offering CPR, AED, first aid certifications, and at a very high level, CNA certificates. I think that the hospital that I work for should offer incentive pay for those employees who are willing to further their education and get these certifications. And then, of course, once the certifications are completed, I would suggest that we give them a bump in pay. Having registration clerks who are also certified as a CNA or CPR, AED, or first aid would help in many different ways. It would set us apart for sure. And if a patient were to come through the front in cardiac arrest, or we would be able to offer them immediate assistance on a much higher level than a registration individual who is not trained to give CPR. Our training starts as an orientation with all of the new hires. We will have training 1 or 2 Mondays a month where all of the new hires can get to know each other. And then depending on which department you're in, your training could look different, but in registration, we have all of our training in Madison. We go to St. Mary's in Madison and we learn how to use our software. But also in addition to that, I would add on crisis training for individuals who come in to the hospital in a mental health crisis. We do see a lot of patients who are dealing with mental health crises, and unfortunately, there could definitely be much more training for everybody on how to handle those situations. We would be adding that training as well. In the future, I hope that our hospital will be a more diverse culture and a respectful group of individuals, because our training will be in depth, and we are implementing a no tolerance rule for disciplinary behavior or actions that people have been allowed to get away with for many years. This is a great first step for the registration portion of the hospital, but other departments need to take these steps when improving our hospital as a whole. For instance, our HR would need to play a more significant role in the hiring and orientation process. Currently, we meet one day with our HR, and then we might not see them again until an issue arises. I would also suggest that our hospital use KPIs with a measurable value that verifies how effectively a company is achieving our key business goals. Companies use KPIs to appraise their success at reaching targets, whether it's recruiting and selection or performance once hired. The 5 performance indicators that I would be looking for is 1, revenue, and that's per client per member. 2, the average applicant age, not age, amount, I'm sorry. The level of applications we're getting in at a time. Our client retention rate, our profit margins, and our average daily attendance. Unfortunately, the registration portion of the emergency room has seen a high turnover rate and a low profit margin because of the high turnover rate. If we get quality employees in the door and we are able to keep them, we would have done our part in keeping our hospital doors open. I would suggest a KPI dashboard with all of the above information for the revenue, the average applicant amount, the client retention rates, the profit margin, and the average daily attendance. We would have our KPIs right there for everyone to see. We have a website instead of Internet Explorer. We have a website that opens up as soon as we get into the internet, and it is our hospital website, and that is where the KPI would. And depending on your credentials, is the type of KPI that we will be seeing on our dashboard. Of course, it's important for our employees to have assessments. We would mentor, and I believe that mentoring is essential. It helps connect between more experienced employees and a novice employee, and it will support career development for both of the individuals. Mentoring also helps to ensure that our more mature individuals pass on their knowledge so that it's not leaving with them. Leadership tends to improve coaching skills, or tends to improve leadership and coaching skills in current and future managers. Mentorship also connects and motivates your top talent employees. Also, I would recommend a performance review once a year, and also recommend mini performance reviews throughout the entire year. This will ensure that our employees know how they are doing at all times. Ideally, performance evaluations will provide a stepping stone for the employees and supervisors to identify and discuss areas where the performance can be improved. But it also can be an essential opportunity for our employees and managers, manager expectations to be reinforced and clarified. I believe with these suggestions that I've made, we will be able to retain our employees. We'll be able to have a more diverse, loyal group of people working for the department.